Score predictions, players you're going to watch, live call-in show. Let's talk about the game. Let's go.
You are Locked On Badgers, your daily podcast on the Wisconsin Badgers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is going on, Badger fans? Welcome to Locked On Badgers, your team every single day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. I'm your host, Ryan Herrings. We are doing a call-in show, so if you're watching live, you want to call in, the link is in the chat. Let me know if you can't find it, but dial in. We are talking about score predictions, players you're going to watch, keys to the game. What's your biggest worry? We're going to get into all that and more today's Locked On Badgers. But first, Family Man ties up, second time on the show. We were talking before the show, man. Let's start here. Let's start with score prediction. Let's get that out of the way.
42-10.
Okay. What's your biggest worry?
Coming out a little slow, like our previous first games for the last 2 years, letting teams hang around a little bit. I'm expecting maybe some issues, maybe gelling a little bit. So many new players, a new offensive system. But come second half, I expect for us to pick it up and create some turnovers and get juiced up, maybe with the lights, new atmosphere, everything with, coming to Camp Randall this year, really leading our second half surge.
I think you make a really good point there with the learning curve, maybe starting a little slow. Quarterback, offensive coordinator, new pieces, first game of the year. It feels like if Miami, Ohio hangs around, it's because Wisconsin's not quite clicking on all cylinders. So I could definitely see that. Who are you most excited to see? Who are a couple players? You don't have to limit it to one or two. Who are your eyes going to be glued to?
Dylan Jones. I'm excited to see him. And I've been down this fall on Trek. And I'm really excited to see if he can really pick it up and lead this team as a second reliable option at wide receiver slot.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. Those are two good ones. Anybody on defense?
Yes, Brandon Lane.
That's Lane.
Yes, I like the way he stepped it up this fall. I was looking for him in the spring. I was looking for him all last year. But I'm really excited that he stepped it up, and I'm really looking forward to Brandon Lane and Agard. Agard will be my second one on defense.
Dude, I love that kid. Having talked to his parents, Agard is such an easy guy to root for. I'm excited to see him get his spots. What's coming out of this game? If game's over, we win 42-10. What is something that you really want to see out of those 42? Is it the passing game, the rushing attack? How do you want us to get 42?
Balanced. I would love to see like a 12 for 20, 200-yard game, 2 touchdowns from the quarterback, and maybe 150 yards from Dylan, and a couple of turnovers on defense. Most definitely, we definitely got to pick it up there. We got to create some havoc.
Dude, love that. That's actually one of my keys. Is we got to generate explosives on defense. Whether it's sacks, tackles for loss, picks, tip passes, whatever it is. Last question here, man, and then we'll get into Justin, Robert, Brett, Red Shed are all in the chat as well. Last question here. Last year we started slow out of conference, and I feel like there's a contingent of Badger fans, probably myself included, that were kind of like, no, it's fine. If this doesn't look like a 42-10 game, and it doesn't have to be 42-10, let's say 34-10. If it doesn't look dominant, you worried?
A little bit. I think we all have heard that this team is pretty good. And, Finn, knowing that we tried to get him to come to Madison and learning that they have a couple of pieces and they ought to be a contender for the MAC. So we can't overlook that either. But as long as we see some areas that we're dominating and we grown in, I'll be happy with a 34-10.
Okay. I love it, man. Dude, thank you for jumping back on the show as always. And definitely we'll go live after the show, after the game. Feel free to jump back in, man. Would love to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Brett, you were in next. I know there were a couple mic issues. I think you're probably good now. What's going on?
Yeah, I think I'm good now. Can you hear me?
You sound great. Lucid, not very drunk. Let's go.
That's awesome, man. Good to see you as always. So prediction wise, I don't know. I think I've been talking about this for a while in Discord. Like, I want to see domination. Like, and we're gonna know it when we see it. And the score might not tell the full story, but I think we'll know it when we see it. Specifically, defensively, I want to see a suffocating defense. I don't want them to be able to breathe for for the entire time of the game. Like, I want them looking around, looking at the crowd, trying to figure out what just happened to us all game. Just that penetrating defense, those tackles for losses. I want their quarterback to tap out. Like, I want him to tap out of the game. That's what I want to see. Offensively, I want to see Mandel crush some dudes. Just take a defensive tackle and push him all the way until the whistle blows, until the echo, and just keep doing that over and over and over until they tap out. That's what I want to see. This is the score. If we run the ball efficiently and that takes off some clock, maybe we don't get into the 50 points. But again, I think we're going to know it when we see it. And if we don't see it, I think we might be worried.
Dude, I love the Mandel call out. And for defense, it's almost like to remember the Titans. You want blitz every play. You gain no yards.
Yes.
Let me ask you this, man. So what is your score prediction? Like, what do you think will happen? That's what you want to see, but what do you think will happen?
45-10, somewhere around there. Like 10 points. Maybe we get a busted coverage and they get us over the top. I don't see them moving the ball, consistently.
Finn doesn't worry you then, it sounds like, too much.
No, I don't think so. I think Tackett and our linebackers are going to shut them down. I think they're just going to be psycho. And as long as they rush disciplined and don't let them out, I think then we'll be fine. The secondary, I really want to see Austin Brown. He's gotten some really solid pub in the preseason, being on the freaks list. So I'd like to see him kind of ball out and just kind of shadow him and kind of put him in a corner.
Yeah, Austin Brown is on my list of guys. By the way, if you're in the chat, what are the players you're most looking forward to seeing? I have a list of those guys coming up next. Let me ask you this, man. What's your biggest worry? So we asked Family Man Ty, said slow start. What is your biggest worry?
Yeah, it's probably the slow start. Like we've seen that. We've seen this movie before. Like if the offense comes out and they don't look like they know what they're doing, which hasn't, for everything I've read and everything I've seen from you guys and other, the offense at least looks like they know what they're doing. If they come out there and kind of, crap the bed, I'm going to be a little disappointed because I guess maybe, so we all expect them to run the ball. So if all of us expect them to run the ball, Miami of Ohio is going to come out there and go, you're not running the ball. So do we have a plan B if they're just going to load the box and say, okay, you're only going to get 2 yards here. So that would be my concern is are we efficient enough and proficient enough this early in the season to have a passing game that can lift us above that? I hope so. I would think so. I think Billy can do it. But I'd also just love us to see them just, hey, we're not going to let you run the ball, and then I'll just run the ball on them anyway.
So
that would be.
Oh, I was going to say, I think this is interesting. So you and Family Man Ty both had a similar score. Vegas has this as about a 27-13 game. If you look at the line, which is 17.5 for the Badgers, and then an over/under of 40, Vegas thinks this is like 27-13. I also think we do better than this, but I will throw this out to the chat and to yourself. I just talked to the Miami of Ohio guy. That show will drop tomorrow. He thinks this is a 17-10 game going into the fourth. Now, biased, just like we are, right? I mean, everybody's on their teams. He said this is going to be a tight game in the first half. We like our running back. We got a couple 6'4" receivers. Finn has looked like he can really fit into this offense. We have a pretty veteran secondary back. This is a team that was in the MAC championship game last year, the last 2 years, actually.
Yeah.
I got to say, I was a little... His confidence shook me just a tiny bit. I dropped my prediction 42-10. I dropped it down to 34-10. So are we just buying the hype a little too much here? Because this is a good MAC team.
Probably. I think like I've probably gassed myself up like since the Minnesota loss. I've just kind of been like, I think we've kind of talked ourselves into the Grimes offense. Like and everything we're seeing. So yeah, we're probably, it's the first game of the year, so we're probably gassed up a little bit, maybe with some hot air. So, maybe it's not everything we want, but again, I think if we'll know it when we see it. Like if they're pushing them off the ball consistently, that's all I want to see. I want to see not 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but I want to get back to pushing people around. I think I mentioned this in the Discord. Like I want Miami of Ohio to know that they were in a football game. Like next week, they should not be good. Every team that plays us should be sore.
And that's what the Badgers used to do to everybody. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take one quick second here. Brett, thank you so much. Coming back up, we got Justin, Robert, the playmakers in there. Again, this is a live call-in show. So if you want to call in, the link's in the chat. Just dial in and give us your thoughts. So a bunch of other great dudes coming up next. Brett, thank you so much, brother. We'll definitely talk afterwards, I'm sure.
Thanks, Ryan.
All right, later, man. One more quick sec. We got to take a quick second for our friends of the show. Then we're coming back with Justin. You're up next, and the great Robert. Then we got Curtis. I think we got a couple other people that popped in and out. Redshed was in here. We're going to do that next on Locked On Badgers. First, a quick second for our friends of the show. Listen, guys, we got to talk about this. Are you still paying for full price for your gas when you go to the gas station? Is that like still a thing you're doing? Like it's 2023. We got to get out of that phase, guys. There's a better way to do this than paying that full price. Stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up at the pump with the free Upside app. Simply download the Upside app, App Store, Google Play, whatever it is, and start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited time promo code football and get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first fill up. You're going to fill it up anyway. Why not get some money back? You can make up to $300 a year just from buying gas that you already needed. And then you can take that $300 and, I don't know, maybe buy like a Christmas present for your favorite podcaster. I'm not telling you what to do with your money. I'm just saying there's options when you have a little bit more. Don't let this offer drive by. Download the free Upside app today using my limited time promo code football for a limited time 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's promo code football. You get it PayPal, e-gift card, Amazon, whatever it is. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. Today's episode also brought to you by our great friends over at Supply House. When you're opening up a new project and you got to get your crew moving, use Supply House. Order today and see parts on your doorstep tomorrow. Over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, electrical items from the most trusted brands in the business. 280,000 items. That is a ton of stuff. That's how many, that is a lot of items, man. You couldn't fit that many items in Camp Randall, and I know because I'm going to be there tomorrow. If you need parts fast for your project, Supply House has next day delivery, which is a total game changer. Real-time inventory, honest lead times. Join the free Trade Master program today. Serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free. Use promo code SHCollege5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. Real people and real service. Let's get back into this, man. Justin, you're up next. Very appreciative for you jumping on the show, man. Give me your thoughts on this game. Give me your score.
What is up, Ryan? I've been wanting to come on this show for a while, and I'm very active in the Discord. Lots of fun in there, so a little shout out to the Discord. Yeah, a little too active in there. Probably my wife scolds me quite a bit, but I'm anxious. I think a lot of us are anxious. That's the word it describes how I'm feeling going into this game. But I expect a dominant win. Score prediction, I'm looking at about 38-17. So maybe a little tighter than others that jumped on first. I expect maybe a little garbage touchdown at the end from Miami, Ohio. And I really expect us to start a little slow. Like new OC, new quarterback, new pieces. Like I expect the atmosphere is going to be fired up, but that will create some pent up energy from the guys. And I expect them to be a little bit anxious and jittery for the first half of the first quarter. So I expect it to be a little bit slow. So that's why I'm a little more conservative on the 38. I know I'm seeing a lot of 60 burgers out there. I think that's the MTSU game personally, but yeah, so that's where my head's at.
Chris Hart saying hi to you. Who the heck is this guy?
So
Chris, another dude in the Discord. Let me ask you this, man. It feels like we're all taking the over on the Vegas perception of our offense. Maybe not the defense. Maybe we're in line there, but Vegas thinks we're like a 27-point offense. Everybody's taking 38, 45. What's the biggest part of this offense, baby, that you're not sold on? Like, if we don't hit that 38, why is it?
I have a hard time thinking of reasons not. Like, I think to me, it's going to come down to the quarterback play, honestly. If Billy doesn't protect the football, if he's throwing the ball in the back of Lyman's head, as we saw last year, and we're just being sloppy, I think that's the only way I could see us really struggling. But for me, it's all about sustaining drives. Can we sustain drives? Can we move the chains? get chunk plays, 8 yards, 10 yards, 7 yards, 8 yards, and just march down the field methodically. I think if we do that, we'll have no problem. And I think Vegas still has the taste of Phil Longo in their mouths a little bit. Like that was, I still can't get the taste out of my mouth. I think it's going to take a long time for it to happen. So I think there's a little residual effect of that too.
I think that's a really good point, actually. Let me ask you, who are you most interested to see? Like, who are you most excited to see when that TV clicks on tomorrow?
I'm going to go Billy Edwards Jr. We are starving for competent quarterback play. Like, I was talking to my boy Robbie. I know he's waiting in. I want to see a 12 for 17 for 180 yards and 2 or 3 touchdowns. No turnovers, no mental mistakes, just a solid, competent performance. Like, I don't think we're looking for him to light the world on fire. And for the last couple of years of poor quarterback play, I think we're just starving for that. That's who I'm thinking about in the offense and the defense. I have to go, I think Marine Matt in the chat's going to love this. Mason Reiger. Like, I want to see him just scream off the edge with him, but also with and then just the defense as a whole, I'll say is I want the word that keeps coming to me is violence. I want us to play violent football again. Where, like, I feel like in the last, in the Tressel regime so far, it just feels like we're playing calculated out there. Like, we're thinking a little too much. We're not flying around just laying the lumber. Like, I want that mentality back in our defense. It's just, if we make a mistake because we're playing too fast, fine. But, like, I want offenses to fear the guys on the other side of the ball. And I don't know if we've had that since some of those Jim Leonard defenses. So, like, that's something that I really want to see come to fruition tomorrow night.
I 100% agree. Again, I'm going to get into it. I wrote down like 3 keys, and one of them is disruptive defense. First of all, let's talk about this too. Nothing fires up a crowd. I mean, maybe a deep bomb, but like a devastating sack, like a huge hit in the backfield. That's
strip sack
going. Yeah, man. And that's energy you can't pump that in with lights or sound effects. You need the players to supply some of that. I'm 100% with you there. Last question here, man. If it is close, why is the game close outside of quarterback play?
I think it's going to be in the trenches. Is our offensive lineman bullying and pushing them around, and is our front four stopping the run and owning the line of scrimmage? I think if we're struggling in the line of scrimmage, this game's going to be close. I mean, we talked about the previous callers before me. Miami's a solid team in the MAC. Like, they're no pushover. They're no FCS school. Like, if they have any type of upside in the trenches, if we're not pushing our will on them, then I could see this game being close. Doesn't matter if Dylan Jones is a 4-star recruit and V8 is a stud. Like, if we're not pushing them around up front with our big boys as we should, then we're in trouble.
I know I said last question, but I want to give you 2 more really quick.
Yeah, fire away.
Get Robbie in here and then Curtis next. I threw a couple over-unders in here. I'm going to give you guys each one of these. Robbie, I'm going to give you one next. Vinny Anthony over under 85 yards receiving. I'm
going under. Yeah. It's not because it's not. I don't think it's him. I think it's just this Jeff. My only caveat, right? My big takeaway here is I think we're going to run the ball down their throat. I could see a reality where Billy Edwards throws the ball 10 times tomorrow. I think Fickle and the staff have heard time and time again from fans and probably people within the building. We need to get back to our roots. Run the football. And I think they're going to pound the ball some more. So if the score goes away, I think if what's going on in my brain, how I've seen this game goes, I don't see Vinny or really anybody getting over 50 or 60 yards receiving, which I think is great. That's fine. So I'm at under for that reason.
I like that take. I think you'll throw more than that, but I can definitely see the perspective. Last one here on your way out, dude. Again, thank you for jumping on the show for sure, and everything you do in the Discord. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Where can people find the work that you do, that you got going on?
Yeah, Robbie and I, we just spun up a little grassroots podcast, Badger Pack Sports. We actually just got off recording an episode, so one just dropped tonight. We're talking Badgers, we're talking Green Bay Packers for our NFL fans. I know, Ryan, you probably won't tune in for that given your 49er love, but I live up here in Green Bay, so I get a lot of cool up close with the Packers, and Robbie's been a lifelong Badger fan along with myself, so we're just talking Badgers as fans. We're not reporters. We're not trying to drop the latest hot take. It's just talking as fans, man. So just started up. We're almost to 100 subscribers. We're 3 away. Just a little shout out. We're 3 away from 100 subs. So Appreciate the chance for letting me share that too, Ryan.
No, of course. I always say this on the show when Nick's on here, other people on here, when Rajiv, support good people doing good things. So go check out the podcast, please. We're going to bring you in the next part of that podcast next. Justin, dude, thank you so much, man, and can't wait to talk again.
Wisconsin.
Rob, let's go, big man.
Hey, let's go. Hey, my boy
there.
Justin, he's wrong. We ain't coming out slow. We're smacking him in the face right out the gate. Okay. Miami of Ohio, the only people they got over 300 pounds are freshmen. We talk about our defensive line last year, and we're like, we're not even close to 300. Our guys were at least at 290 pounds. These guys are at like 260, 270 max. It's like, and like we have juniors and seniors except for Mandel, which everybody loves Mandel and says he's going to smack the crap out of some guys. It's like, we better be able to run the ball. If anything, I want to see runs the first drive the whole time, no passes, and then we can get Billy Edwards going. But we're going to establish dominance right out the gate.
Can I just tell you, man, I love your look right now.
Yeah.
Like, I love the
yeah,
cutoff.
Man, I'm feeling it.
Beard. Like, you look great, man.
Yeah, man.
Let me ask you this then. What's your biggest worry? Because, again, it feels like we're all on the same page. We all expect us to cover. Everybody that's been on the show, myself included, said, I think they're going to cover. I think they're going to run the ball on them. I'm telling you, again, he's biased just like we're kind of biased. The Miami of Ohio guy is pretty high on that team. They think they're going to be able to run the ball. They like their secondary. They like Finn. What's your biggest worry right now?
Yeah, no, I was listening to some stuff from the Miami of Ohio media and just talking with their head coach there. They replaced a lot of their team. I think he said that 77% of their team is freshmen and sophomores. So I think that's a big thing. But one thing, they do like their corners, and their corners are bigger. They're all like the 6'1", 6'2" guys. You know, I think kind of like what Fickle kind of wanted to do to start, kind of get those taller, more athletic guys. But yeah, no, the wide receivers they brought in, transfer guys, Darion Williamson, he's out of Florida State, and then Dion Colsey out of Notre Dame. It's like both bigger guys, and that kind of does worry me there just because of the size with kind of our shorter corners, even though we were trying to get bigger guys. And that's going to come with the recruits that we're bringing in, but we're just not there right now. So I think Rico might struggle a little bit there. But I mean, he's preparing for the NFL. Like this is his interview. He's got to show up. So I'm not too worried there. My score prediction, I got it at 45-17. So I was thinking like a 38, but I wanted to give him another touchdown just because I'm pumped, and I think they're going to do well.
Bird Dogger, by the way, says our inside linebackers need to keep Finn from escaping the pocket. What's your worry level on Finn and maybe the speed on this defense versus somebody who's pretty experienced and pretty athletic?
Yep. I was talking about this on the show. Like I said, we recorded, but in the Discord, we were talking about Jean Meta. And I said, we ain't got guys running 4.8, 4.9s anymore. Okay. We're not coaching guys to be special teamers in the NFLs. We want starters. So I think they're going to be able to contain Finn. I think the defensive line should be able to keep him in the pocket, but I think we got the speed to also put a spy on him too and keep him contained. Not that he's going to get his yards. He's a talented guy, but I think probably hold him to at least 50 yards. I think if you hold him under 50 yards rushing, that's a win in my book.
Let me give you the next over-under. So I hit up Justin with the first one. Next one here is Dylan Jones, 125 on the ground. Over-under.
Over.
Wow. That's a good number. 125. Like, Dupree's going to get touches too. I love it.
I want him 150.
Dude, that was a quick over. Who are you most excited to see?
Dylan Jones. I got Dylan Jones, Vinny Anthony, and I got Tackett. Those are guys that I've just been rolling with. I want to see Rieger, but like I said, he just transferred, so I'm excited for him. But it's like Dylan Jones, I was excited about him last year, so I'm rolling with the boys that I've been rolling with. You know, you commit to Wisconsin and you kind of stay true. I know Tackett came in last year, but it's like those are the guys that I get excited for.
Dude, I absolutely love it, man. I'm going to let you go because I have to hit another ad break, and then we got to get Curtis and one other person. But as you know, you always have a room at the Locked On Badger Chalet, man. You know that.
Oh, yeah. No, I hope Curtis is pumped, too.
He's up next.
Let's go, playmaker.
Break, but yeah, he's up next on the show. One more quick second, and then we got Curtis. We got another one that just jumped in the chat. And again, if anybody else wants to jump in, just bang in there. I'll throw the invite in again. It is a live call-in show. Today's episode brought to you by our incredible friends over at Gametime. That's where I get tickets. That is where I got tickets. I will be at the game tomorrow, so I would love to see anybody. Hopefully it's a great game. I've talked about it. My kids are going. It's their first game in Camp Randall, so if we lose this, I will never forgive the Badgers. But we got our tickets on on Gametime. I've got tickets to the Braves there. It is the ultimate ticketing destination. You have pictures of the seats before you sit down, so you know exactly where you're at. It's fast, it's easy, super quick to buy. And they send the tickets to your email. You get them before you sit. Like, you can do it on the way to the stadium, and you get them in your email before you pull in from your Uber. So take the stress out of it. Save money, make it easier. Go to Gametime to buy all of your tickets. And right now, you can get even cheaper tickets with our offer. Head over to Gametime, download the app, use code LOCKEDONCollege, and you can get $20 off your first purchase. Terms to apply. Again, create the account, redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Let's go, Curtis. Dude, thank you.
Man, on the road. You're always doing these lives when I'm not at home. So
where are you headed?
Well, I'm getting some errands done, and then I'm coming back home. I had a late dinner.
Okay. So you heard some of the score predictions, some of the thoughts. Where are you at on this game?
So I'm honestly, this is going to sound, I don't want to say this, but I'm kind of at, do we just win or do we kick the crap out of them? That's kind of where I'm at right now. And I don't see really a path for them to actually win this game in any meaningful way. First off, let's think about Miami of Ohio. They were a great team last year.
Like muffled. I don't know. Yeah, your mic is like weird. It's muffled. And I definitely want to get what you're saying.
Can you hear me now?
It's muffled. Okay. You have a weird muffled mic situation going on. I do like where you're going, though. Do you beat them or do you really beat them? There's like no worry that they could stay in this game, apparently. Try that.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Much better. Yep, perfect.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Okay, cool. Yeah, my headphones have been tweaking. I gotta get new ones. Yeah, I'm kind of in between. Do we just, kind of do what we did last year in the beginning of the game, or do we smack them? And so first off, I wanted to start by saying Miami, Ohio, good team last year. They won the MAC. That team also lost to Northwestern. To give some perspective, that was their good team. They went and they lost to Northwestern. This year they replaced, I believe, is 18 starters, more or less. Half of their line is freshmen on the offense. Their defensive line, Robert already mentioned, incredibly undersized. I don't really see the threat on this team at all outside of Daquan Finn, and I think he's kind of a chaos merchant. And so as long as we contain him, he's not going to be able to beat us by himself. So, I'm not overly concerned about winning or losing the game. My question more relies on how good are we going to perform? And then there's a number of things that I think can influence that. First and foremost is the first game. My perspective on this game is it's going to probably feel a lot like a lot of Paul Chryst's first games, where it's like the first quarter, second quarter, it's kind of slow. Like we're still trying to figure out what we do. Maybe we drop some passes. Maybe the run lanes aren't all the way open. But by the time the third and fourth quarter come around, I think you're going to see massive big run plays by Yak or by Dylan Jones or by Dupree. I think you're going to see holes open up. I think you're going to see us really start to wear on their offensive line, the depth that we have on our defensive front now. Guys like Mason Rieger, Cheeks, they're going to start to get after it a little bit. Daquan Finn's going to get a little jumpy. I think as the game settles on, I think you're going to see us play a lot better. And it's going to be like, I can't tell you how many Paul Chryst games I watched where the first half it's like 17-3, and then we end up winning like 52-3 because by the time it's the third quarter, we're just running over teams. That's probably how I feel like this game is going to go. Like I said, I was more nervous about this game until I actually looked at the state of Miami, Ohio's roster, and I think you're going to start to see moving forward in college football the gap between the NIL halves and the teams that we are paying money to come play us. You're going to start to see that gap form. There's a reason Miami, Ohio is mostly freshmen, sophomores, and transfers of guys who didn't play at the previous schools.
It's interesting you mentioned the size of the roster. I know Robert brought that up as well, being able to pound the rock. I was talking to the Miami of Ohio guy, and he was talking about they got somebody from the portal. I think it was from FSU and somewhere else, a defensive lineman, and he was saying this guy was a massive get for us. We don't usually have size like this. And he kept talking. I was expecting him to say this guy's 6'3", 330. He's like, he's 6'3", 285. And I'm like, oh, well,
I mean, that might play in the MAC. And so, in fairness to them, I mean, again, they lost Northwestern. They went on and won the MAC. So it could play in the MAC. And that's honestly for them, it's like, hey, that's great. You know, I mean, maybe that's what you need because I don't know what the rest of the MAC is doing. I live closest to Northern Illinois. And apparently, they're a Mountain West team now. So, you know, all I know is for us, again, this is a game to see, you know, how tight are we right now? How locked in are we on the offense? How dialed in is our defense? How much improved it is? I think this is where you're going to start to see the gaps between the Big Ten, the SEC, and everybody else start to emerge over the next few years because the NIL is starting to play a factor. We can pay, you know, the max amount for a football team roster in our salary, I guess salary cap or whatever it is, right? We can pay that. Miami can't, right? So you're going to start to see that, I think, have dividends moving forward. And I think much of what they had is left, graduated or transfer out. And I think that might have been probably the last really solid Miami, Ohio team they'll have. And I think that's kind of the future of how these things are going to go.
Well, they had two really solid receivers last year, and now one is at Texas Tech and one is at, I think, Notre Dame. To your point, right?
Exactly. When you think about it, like you have a good player in the MAC, you're not going to have them next year, right? So MAC teams, if anything, are going to have significantly more turnover than we would because they just can't keep their players.
Are the backups in the fourth quarter? Are we at that point?
Yeah, I think so. I think regardless of if it's like, you know, if it's 31-10 or if it's, you know, 48-7, I still think the backups are in regardless. You know, maybe you're cycling running backs like, you know, Tuca, Jones, Dupree, just to get them touches, get them familiar with you know, playing in in a prominent role. But I think that really, no matter how you slice it, you're going to see backups in the fourth quarter.
Give me something you're really excited to see in this game. We talk players, but like scheme wise, or something outside of just the obvious Riger, Edwards, Dillon.
I want to see us scheme up. Well, two things. The first one is I want to see us scheme up some looks. I want to see us hit some play actions. I want to see us do some misdirection. You don't need to necessarily do anything crazy like, you know, flea flick or anything like that. But I want to see, like, you know, the offense as the game goes on, progress in its system and take advantage of mismatches and misdirections to get Miami out of position and hit people open down the field. The second thing I want to see, this is just a personal thing. I want to see tight end leak because that's the best play ever in the history of football. Last year, tight end leak was like 100% effective every time, and it's the only reason why Texas beat Arizona State. I think it's the best play ever, and we never ran it last year, and Grimes runs it a lot, so I want to see that play.
And we got a guy who can execute it. Mason can do just about everything you need from that tight end spot. Last question here, man. Over under. This is the last over under I had. It's Billy Edwards over under 235 passing.
Okay, so if you're going to say 200, I was for sure going to say over. That's an odd number. Not how I kind of see this again. I think what we're going to be seeing is the evolved form of what Paul Chryst's offense could have been if he continued to evolve it, right? And I think that with that being the case, you're going to see a lot of the same type of stats that maybe we saw. So a good game, like a really good game, would be like 250, right? I think statistically speaking, I'm going to say under, but I don't think it's going to be for lack of like want to. I think it's just going to be because we're just going to be able to run the ball. We want to make sure our run game's doing good. You know, I think Dylan Jones and Darren Dupree are going to get there. I think Yak's going to get some good touches. I think there'll be some nice, you know, kind of chunk plays in the passing game. But I don't remember who said it. It might have been this call or it might have been a different video I was watching. Once we get in the red zone, I think we're running the rock, you know, or it's like a 2-yard pass. Like, I think we're mostly just going to be doing, you know, little short stuff. So that's kind of why I think it'll probably be less than 235, but that's a good number.
Yeah, thank you. I came up with that. Yeah, I think, listen, Badger fans are going to be excited for it. If you run the ball and you dominate the line of scrimmage, like Badger fans are going to be here for that. Let's wrap this show up. Dylan Jones, question here from Cameron Glenbin. Thank you for commenting. I don't know if I've seen too many of your comments, Cameron, so thank you for jumping in here. Dylan Jones over 19.5 carries.
I'm also going to say under on that. And the reason being is because I don't think we're going to use him like a bell cow tomorrow. I think you're going to see him. I think you're going to see Dupree. I think you're going to see some Yak. If things get crazy, maybe some Etuka too. So I just don't think, you know, I could see him, you know, maybe having 13 to 16, but a couple big chunk plays where he gets up to 100, 150 yards, and then you're throwing in Dupree, you know, seeing what he can do, right? So I don't think you're going to see him kind of, you know, 19.5 to me kind of feels like you're leaning on him. I don't think we're going to need to do that tomorrow.
Hoger says 15 for 124 and 2 tutties. I would take that. Let's see if we can throw these guys back in here quick, if we can get everybody on even. Roundtable it. We still got everybody in here. Final thoughts, Brett. We'll start with you before we kind of take this show into the night. Final thoughts on this game.
Final thoughts. I really liked what Curtis had to say about just kind of pushing the willing it. I just want to see domination, man. Dominate on both lines. I want to see Dylan Jones get some big yardages, but I think the biggest thing in the Discord is I think all of us just want to see Everson Mandel just wreck some dudes. Just some absolutely wreck some guys. Like, let's be physical. That's what I want to see.
Robert, man, and I'll let you take this question too from Carson. Vinny's receiving line tomorrow.
Ooh.
5 for 75.
I think that's probably close.
Yeah, I was gonna go 5 for 85.
I set the over at 85. You can't say take 85. My over under is
86.
85. Okay,
86.
Perfect.
I think it's going to be something like 4 or 5. I'll say 4 or 5 for I'll say 85. I guess I'll say 90. And the reason I say that is because I think he's going to have like maybe 3 or 4 catches that are maybe 10, 20 yards, move the sticks, and he's going to have one that's going to be like a 50-yard bomb. That's what I think is going to happen, something like that.
We're going to hit something deep, I think. Robert, like final thoughts heading into this game, man. And you listened to the show, you did your own show. Has your opinion changed at all? Like listening to this stuff, are you pretty locked in on this team at this point?
So, like I said on the last call-in show, my confidence rating is at a 5.75 because we haven't seen it, So what this game is like, I want to see him smack this team in the mouth because that's how you build your confidence. You don't and your expectations. It's like, if they can meet my expectations that I want, that's how that goes up. But it's like, if our offensive line can't do stuff against people who aren't even at 300, except for a couple freshmen, that's going to be disappointing. And that doesn't raise my confidence level. So
Curtis, man, last thoughts before we sign this thing off.
Yeah. I feel really good about this. I think last year we suffered from the fact that I don't think that what we were doing was advantageous to the personnel that we had. I think this year you have the exact opposite problem where everything we're doing seems to directly fit exactly who we have. And I think, another year of training with Blazik and a more offensive line friendly scheme. Our offensive line wasn't bad last year. It just couldn't run because the way they were set up to get in the run play just wasn't effective at all. Right? I mean, you're asking a tackle to run to the inside of a defensive tackle. Like, it just doesn't work. Whereas now you're running a scheme that is designed to run the ball. And I think you're going to see that. I think you're going to see, a Mandel versus a 6'3", 280 guy from Florida State. I'd take that if we were playing the actual Florida State, right? I mean, that's a good matchup in any team we play. So I think that for me, I think we're going to see the offensive line sort of start to take over, especially in the third quarter. I think that's when you're going to start to see us gash them.
I like this from Mr. October. Play great. Give Ryan Ammo to shut the Big Ten squad guys up. Yeah, I'm here for that.
I don't even think they do research at all.
I don't know.
I want to say about that. Every Locked On fan is hype about their team right now, so I don't hate that at all. The only person that doesn't seem to be hype as much is you for some reason. But other than that, it's like, of course they're going to be hyped. And all these Illinois and Iowas and Indianas, we beat the crap out of for 15 years. They're finally getting their get back. Good for them. It's going to end after like a year or two.
I'm here for it. Listen,
he's even got the spooky background back there. I'm like, it's like ominous. Like he's expecting something bad. No, I do. It was different. I liked it.
Yeah, we're gonna light it up tomorrow. I'm lighting it up.
Yeah.
I just think I feel good about it. I just see a lot of 40, 50 point projections. I'm not sure if we're quite there yet. Like, I hear you, Curtis. Like, this is a team in Miami, like, lost a lot. They have been to 2 straight MAC title games. Like, this is a good MAC team for whatever that's worth in 2025. This is not Middle Tennessee, for example. This is a team with a coach that's been there a long time, like knows how to muck it up.
Yep. Offense and defensive coordinators have been there for a long time too.
It could be a little ugly if we don't start kind of quick, which is something we had a couple people, Family Man Ty talked about it, Justin talked about it on this show. I think we need to come out quick. If it's mucked up in the first half, I think people are going to be nervous in the stadium, and I think that energy is going to be weird. So I think a fast start is incredibly important.
Well, but also that's what I was just saying. Think about all the games we had with Paul Chris beginning of the year, where it's like, oh, this is kind of weird to start, and then we roll them because just a physical game wears on the other team. That's what I think is more apt to happen. We'll be jumping at the jump around is kind of where I'm at with it.
Dude, I'm jumping regardless. I'm going to be there. The kids are going to be there. I just want to say this to wrap up the show. An entire off season, we're done. It starts tomorrow. I want to say thank you to everybody who listened in the off season. I want to say thank you to Curtis and Brett and Justin and Robbie who have been on these shows and been in the Discord. Like, seriously, thank you. Thank you for listening all off season and being here and helping build this community. Thank you for being in this show right now. So I definitely want to say thank you for not doing other things in the summer. Like, so yeah, I appreciate it, everybody on Wisconsin, and we will have a live post-game show tomorrow. Obviously we always do the reaction shows, and then there will be tomorrow during the day, the Miami, Ohio preview show will drop. I have a Miami, Ohio guy on the show. And again, he thinks this is a 17-10 game going into the fourth. So it's worth listening to get that perspective on Wisconsin. And we will talk to all of y'all later.
On Wisconsin.